Hey guys, it's Brian here from the Watch Gamers. So what I want to get into today with you are some advanced FPS techniques. It's a genre of games that I've been playing for a couple of years now, and it's probably my favourite genre in fact. There are a few things that you can do to help improve your game and help you survive firefights and just become the best FPS player that you can. They're really simple things and there's quite a few of them, so let's get straight into them. The first thing I want to talk about here today is pieing and peeking. Yeah, it sounds a little weird, but bear with me, there is method behind the madness here. Well, the whole theory behind it is basically, as you walk up to any corner, imagine it from top down with a circle around every single corner. Now, what you can do is run directly out and continue on. But the problem is, you're giving an awful lot of the rules of engagement to your enemy. They're going to see you first, they're going to have an exact idea where you're coming from because there is only one doorway, and it's going to put you at a distinct disadvantage. What you should do is start pieing or peeking, and this is exactly it. Basically, as you approach every corner, you ADS. Now if your game has lean, you can use that or not, but the whole theory is that as you clear it off, you're just taking a small section at a time, small section at a time, another small section. And you can see here, it allows you to dictate how you take the corner and what parts you're exposing and what parts you're clearing off. So you can say, right, that's clear, next section. Again, nothing here, that's clear. Next section, that's clear again, and you can move on. It's something that you want to do for every corner, and the game will definitely dictate at what speed you want to do this. Again, like a COD, it's not super important because that game is so high paced, but with games like Rainbow Six here, it's something you're going to want to do pretty much religiously with every single corner. And you'll find once you get into the habit of doing it, it saves you an awful lot of time in that dead screen. Right here, clearing corners, and in situations like this where you are securing an objective, it's vitally important. So many times you'll see people hiding in corners like this, and if you run in, boom, you've never seen them. Next point. So the second point I want to get into here, guys, is your effective engagement distance. Now, while that sounds all tactical and cool, there actually is a real benefit to doing this in game. So what we have here on Rainbow Six Siege is Twitch's 417. In this game, it's a DMR, so it's a designated marksman's rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle, so it's going to shoot one bullet for one trigger pull. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Right here, we've got about a 5 meter distance, and yes, we can be pretty accurate, but that semi-auto is going to really hurt us. If we come around the corner with someone with a shotgun, you see how that hipfire and that mag size is really going to hurt us. Someone comes around the corner with a shotgun and an SMG, they're going to have a huge advantage on us. So we're going to want to keep away from areas just like this. Now on the other side, here we go with a long corridor. It's maybe about 20 meters here, and you can see how accurate we can be, blowing holes through walls. And those shots were landing maybe a few inches apart from each other. On the other side, someone down there with an SMG or a shotgun simply is not going to have that range to stand with you. They're either going to have to retreat or take a face full of lead, and that's fine with me. So, you know, on this map, at the very bottom of the plane, it's all 20 meter engagements. Now, you're going to know every single map back and front after a little while, and that's okay when you don't, but just memorize it as you're moving through. Under here, I know it's all in or around 20-30 meter engagement distances. This rifle is king at that range. So here we go. If someone's down there, they're pretty much dead. They've got a shotgun, they never stood a chance. So you want to keep it here. Now you're going to come across sections of the map, places like this, where it's just dramatically dropped off. You're still within that 5 meter range. You're going to want to get out of those places as quick as you possibly can and back into your comfort zone, which is this 20 meter range. You can move through these at your own pace, comfortable, and knowing that you have the advantage. You're going to come across some small rooms again, get out of them as quick as you can, and back into those long engagement distances. Just like this. So here's another weapon type, the shotgun. Now we talked about those when we were using the 417. Look at that effective range, that is lethal. These are your happy spaces when you've got the shotgun. Close range, close quarters. You don't want to get into those long sight lines. And let's take the same route that we did through with the 417. You see here, this is where we can really put some hurt down. Nice staged reload so we can put back as many rounds in the chamber as we need and stop it mid-process if we have to. Just something that you can't do with the likes of the 417. This is where the problem comes in though. You see this 20-meter engagement distance again. The spread is crazy and you're pretty much useless at this effective range. So that is not where you want to be. If at all possible, you want to move through the map and dictate how you move through it. So you want to be able to get into these nice little spots, and if you can, bring it back down to that 5-meter range. It's really going to help you when you know the map knowledge, but also this is where the whole point of this is coming across. You have to know the map, but know the gun that's in your hand too. If you're effective at 5 meters, try and always bring your fights into the 5-meter range. You really want to rule the fights and you want to set the rules of engagement here. Again, another 20-meter range. That is crazy. And you're probably going to lose that firefight if someone crosses there with a 417. So what can you do? Well, you dictate your effective range again. Bring it into these small little sections where you're going to have the advantage. You're going to find you're going to last a lot longer in firefights and in matches because you're stacking the balance of power in your favor. So here I want to talk a little bit about your choice of sights. Now this is going to be pretty important. Here we have the L85 again with iron sights. Now not a lot of people choose to use iron sights in modern FPS games. It's the starting kit and there's a good reason for it. You'll see here there's an awful lot of your sight picture is taken up with that metal housing, and that's going to cause you awful trouble. Say for example you wanted to take someone out in the passenger seat here. Now you're going to, if that's a moving target, you're going to lose that entire field of vision underneath that right post until you're directly on it. And the same applies for the middle of the van. You'll see how that disappears when you're looking at that passenger seat. That's going to be a real problem. Now a lot of people tend to use RDS sights or red dot sights, and you'll see why in a second here. So this is our red dot sight. In this case it's a hollow sight. Now you'll see it takes up far less size on the screen, and the actual sight housing is a little less on this. Now the advantages we have here, we'll see there's that floating ring dot in the center. You can see your full target, top, bottom, left and right, and you can effectively move through here, keeping your sight on target. And it's very difficult to lose targets within that sight housing. Now you can push that, and you'll see here that entire doorway is now taken up with that right hand post. The other flip side of this is when you're looking into bright areas, you'll find it tends to get a bit washed out and a bit hard to see. Now some games allow you to negate that by changing the size of the red dot or the colour of it. Most games don't though. So we'll see it's good for indoors, it's good for slowly moving through and peeing and pieing your targets. But you're going to want to try and keep that red dot on centre. Now the variations of that would be simple red dots where you just get that one dot in the centre. And the sight housing then is pretty minimal. The rule of thumb here is you want to keep the sight housing down and the sight picture, that red dot in the middle, as open and clear as possible. Now you can get into other sights and we'll go into that next. So here we have our ACOG sight, and in this game Rainbow Six Siege it's got a 2x magnification and a really similar kind of profile to the EOTech Hollow sight. You see here it's got that indicator right in the center and you've got your sight housing. Now in this case the sight housing is a little bulkier, but it's not that much of an issue. You'll see here you've got far more zoom and you can be far more accurate. Now this is fantastic for clearing long corridors, but like we said in our effective range section, you'll see it puts you at a disadvantage when you're trying to clear corners. You're now kind of zoomed in a bit more on top of that sight, so it takes a lot longer for you to swing that weapon around when you're ADS. So what you want to try and do is negate it by hip firing. That's not going to be your most accurate. It gives you a weird balance between being very accurate at long range but very inaccurate at short range. It's really about the map you're playing on and your own particular play style. If you like sitting back, judging your engagement distance like I do, then an ACOG sight is the one for you. It allows you to put a bit of distance between you and people using red dot sights where they're not going to be as accurate as you can be, and it's going to help you with that shooting at mid to long distance. Short range though, probably want to stick to the red dot sights. The housings are generally going to be a lot smaller and it's going to allow you to move your weapon around a lot quicker, being able to react to situations that you didn't expect. The next couple of points I want to talk about are reloads and mindfulness. And no, we're not getting all spiritual and hippie like any here. Bear with me, there is method behind the madness. So reloads, it's a really important thing, and it's something that's very general to first-person shooters. You'll find that if you get into a firefight, and I'm just going to go ahead and unload a few rounds here. My instinctual reaction is to reload straight away. And a lot of times I find I end up getting killed, and that's simply not needed. Worst case scenario, that is. But best case scenario, I've just taken myself out of the fight for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds, depending on the weapon system that you're running and how long it takes to reload. That may not have been needed. There was 11 rounds still left in that gun, and in this game in particular, one hit headshots. That means that I potentially could have killed 11 people, and I yet backed away from that fight. I took myself out of that fight. It's a thing that comes up in first-person shooter games quite a lot for myself, and I spend an awful lot of time reloading this unnecessarily. Here we've only expelled maybe 5-6 rounds, and that need to reload still crops up. Now I can't move, or I shouldn't be moving, through corners or the rest of the map. If I'm reloading, you should be hanging back. But now you're stopping your own progress, and there really wasn't a need to. There was 24 good rounds in that weapon. It could have killed 24 people in theory. See here, you can move on, but that need to reload still comes back up. And another thing you'll find when you get down to that low ammo count, you'll get that reload indicator comes on screen, and it's almost automatic that when you see that, you should be reloading your weapon. It comes up on screen, and you're not going to go through an automatic reload, yet you still got 8 rounds in the chamber. Now, like I said, that's 8 potential kills. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. I didn't need to reload that quick, but there was an urge to do it. It's worth keeping in mind that just because you've downed one person in a firefight and that reload icon is on screen, there potentially may be more. Give it a few seconds, hang back, see if you can hear anyone, see if you can see anyone. If not, then taking yourself out of the firefight's not going to be that much of a big deal. You're not losing the kill because of it.
Radar.
Go on, pick up the cricket bat.
Oh yeah.
Don't be squeamish. Think of it as an unspoken agreement between survivors. Because if you got infected,
Kill
would you
him.
want someone to do the same for you?